Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I'm called the Big Game Hunter because I coach people to play their professional game big. Huge, I tell you. And I set aside 30 minutes Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on blab.im in order to help people with their job search, their career, their solo or small business questions or concerns where they're looking for advice. And I do this because it doesn't have to be as hard, difficult, painful, or take as long for most of you as it does. It's just, number one, is you struggle to ask for help and you think you have to keep reinventing the wheel. You think you know how to do it, or in the case of job hunters, you make the mistake of believing that the skills needed to find the job are the same as the skills needed to do the job, and they aren't. So, like I said, Monday through Friday, blab.im, look for Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunters, no BS coaching advice, with advice for job search, business, and career. So I received a couple of questions after my blab yesterday, and I'm going to ignore them for today and just talk with you about a mastermind call I was just on with a group of people. And I meet with them Fridays at 11 for an hour, where we talk about how to move our businesses forward. And there was a person in the hot seat today who was remarkably resistant to doing anything other than what he does and what he wants to do, what he's always done. And he wants to get a different result. But at the end of the day, it sounds like he's not really willing to do all that much to change. So, we spent some time with him, and his work is as an attorney. And what he does is, let's see, I seem to have locked that. Okay. What he's done is immigration law for particular market areas that are poor, underserved, that sort of thing. And he wants to spend some more time or build a business supporting the arts and scientists and their immigration issues. Now, he spoke about hiring a paralegal to do Spanish related immigration law and hiring someone to do Russian related immigration law. And it's until he went further, I thought he was looking to actually build a substantial business. And I learned more later on. So in terms of the substantial business, I had the idea that there's a model of law where there's an executive lawyer and there's staff people who do most of the work. And there's a lot of that's done in terms of marketing. Now, for small business owners, this is a typical model. You have the head of the firm who's a rainmaker, and you have the people underneath who are doing a lot of the tedium of the job that allows the rainmaker to do what he does best, which is go out and talk to people or market and promote the firm. And this guy doesn't even have a website. And he's got next to nothing on LinkedIn. He's been stuck in this old paradigm that basically says, I'm competing with everyone. No one's going to help me because I'm going to try and take their lunch. Why would they want to help me? And as we've all grown to learn over the course of, the last 10, 15 years, and this guy hasn't because he's been isolated, so many people learn through their network. And your net worth comes from your network. So I initially suggested this model where he's the executive lawyer and he's doing late night advertising to underserved populations on late night TV because they tend to do shift work. They're up at 2 o'clock in the morning watching TV. Why not advertise to them at that hour? Then he let me in on the secret that he wants to work with arts and entertainment. And when I suggested he talk to attorneys about doing that kind of work, his first reaction was, well, why should they talk to me? I'm going to try and put them out of business. Like he can do that as a one-man attorney when most of these guys are big guns. So my point here is, number one, everyone has to explore what they need to learn by the notion of informational interviews. Job hunters know about this tactic because it's one of the most common ways that people develop their business. Find leads as a job hunter is through informational interviewing. What's that? You schedule an appointment, say, can I meet you for 15 minutes to pick your brain for a second? So if you're a staff individual, you're talking with a senior VP, a CIO, a senior manager, someone at a higher level than you. Say, I want to get to where you are now. That's really where I see myself going forward next. What do I need to learn or grow, develop in order to be qualified at this level? So people would ask, why would someone give you advice like that? Because they do. And as I said to this individual, people are very willing to help if you ask them. You're not going to put a big law firm out of business. If anything, they'll send you some of their stray business from time to time. If you ask them nicely and you do good work. So, my point for you as a small business owner, as a solopreneur, is you often have ideas about how to do stuff, and you do nothing to really do research to figure out if there's a market for it, how others who've done this kind of work have gotten the business, and you need to ask questions. Now, you could call up someone in a completely different geographic market than you and pick their brain. You could call someone locally or meet them online and pick their brain. Set up a Skype session so you're not even leaving the confines of your home or office and pick their brain. And don't hesitate. What's the worst they can do? No. Why would I help you? You're no one. Well, that's about as far as it can go. So what's the big deal about that? So ask questions. Find people who are willing to talk to you. The first one may not. The fifth one may. The 25th one may. But you need to learn what you don't know in order to move into a new business area, a new job area, a new career area. And informational interviewing is a huge way to do it. Now, when we got around to talking about his website, which, like I said, he really doesn't have a website. And his LinkedIn profile is ridiculous. We started off with, okay, you need to have a professional picture done, not just one where you're sitting in a hot tub somewhere. You need to look well. You photograph well. Take advantage of your appearance in order to do things that are going to promote you and your business. And when push comes to shove, when you think of it for yourself, you need to do that all the time, not just when you're job hunting and in crisis and have decided to move on from where you are, but all the time so that you can be proactive and be ready for when you decide to make that move. After all, the skills needed to find a job are different than the skills needed to do one. And you need to develop both your skills in doing the job as well as your skills in marketing yourself for the next job. And you can't wait until you're job hunting in order to do that. So that's one thing. Next thing is the concept of mastermind. We sat together, this is probably the 6th time we've met, and we meet for about an hour every week on Friday late morning from 11 to 12. And what we wind up doing is providing support to one another, providing accountability to one another. One person gets in the hot seat and talks about, something related to their business and how they want to move forward in their business. And we all offer ideas for how to explore things going forward. You can do the same thing and create a regular routine with other people who you meet for an hour in order to talk about what your goals are. Now, here's what we do. First few minutes, we check in with one another about what successes we've had. Then we report in with one another on some of the goals that we set the previous week. Then one person goes into the hot seat for 20 minutes, and we support them as they talk about what their challenges are professionally and what advice we can offer them to move their business forward, move their health forward, whatever it is, to help move them forward to where they want to get to. And then we check out with our stretches for the following week. So there are 8 or 9 of us who meet. I think it's 8 who are doing this weekly. And it has wound up being a terrific way to receive support. And it's been terrific to give people support and do some coaching while I'm with them. So my encouragement is try to find a framework or a venue where you can pull together at least half a dozen people to do much the same sort of thing. Spend some time talking with them and get some support, because you don't know everything. And if you think you do, you're an idiot. I'm going to be that blunt. You're an idiot. Get some support. Ask for help. Don't have that mistaken notion that you know it all and you don't need any help. It's just a question of time. If it was just a question of time, you would have made it and done what it is that you wanted to do a long time ago. But there are roadblocks in your way, and there's some challenge that's keeping you from being the man or woman that you want to be. I coach people, so I can work one-on-one with you. You can reach out to me through my website, which is nobscoachingadvice.com. Be happy to schedule time with you to answer questions. Here, my goal is to do no more than one quick question with people. And so far, I've been dealing with the chickens who are afraid to show up and just send me an email. So I'm addressing it here. So if you have a question for me and you're too afraid to talk, email me at Jeff Altman Coach. It's JEFFALTMAN Coach at gmail.com. Ask one question. I'll answer it on Blab. It'll wind up on YouTube, and be happy to help you. I do hope you have a great day. And this video will wind up being on YouTube later on. So again, Monday through Friday, noon Eastern, nobscoachingadvice.com, or Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunters, nobscoachingadvice.com. Oh, people sometimes ask me why I'm referred to as the Big Game Hunter. And that is because I coach people to play their game big. See you Monday. Take care.